Yes, Damien.
This is why we do.
Do the intro again, eh?
This is why we do the live one.
Do the credits again.
Oh, you know what's going to be on the start of the thing, don't you? Anyway, I think the credits were fine. I think it's when we flicked the credit away from the credits that it didn't
So just
work.
us then.
Just us then, yeah. Apologies. Hello, good evening, everybody. Oh. Do you know, it just makes the start of the podcast really good, because the start of the podcast is always just it going wrong. The day I don't put that in, I know something's going right. Good evening, welcome to Three Men and a Microphone, episode number 42, live. My name is Ian Barstow, that is Damien Lee, and that is Mr. Darren Antrobus. So yeah, you missed the whole conversation about the message that Damien sent to me, but I think, you know, it's past now, hasn't it?
Just do it again.
Yeah, to be honest, I kind of, because my world at the moment revolves around homeschool in the morning, going to the work only half a day now, because I normally do full time, so I'm in half a day. So by the time I get in, I'm already a bit chopsy. And then I'm sort of doing stuff for this. Then there's other stuff going on for the different offices. Then I've got my co-director kind of then saying, "What are you doing for us?" And I'm like, I can't be 15 people. I'm trying to help everybody. So, yes, I am. This is why my eyes look like Sainsbury's at the moment. There's far too many bags under them. So,
that's a very middle class saying, that is. It could almost be
not middle class.
It could almost be. If you, it would have been just as bad if you just said, "Oh, I've got eyes like Waitrose."
Wow. Do you think I've got slightly big bags, Darren?
Yeah.
Nice. Excellent.
Two of them I've heard. So, coming up on today's show, we will be having all the usual bits and pieces. We have got on the box the newsy bits. We've got a Retro Hall of Fame featuring a listener, which we will give more details of later on.
How exciting is that, though?
Waiting to
Do you
go.
know what I mean?
Yes.
We've had special guests. We've had Joe Lycett. We've had Lisa Appleton. And this week, because we had such a great Retro Hall of Fame suggestion from one of our listeners, that all three of us said, we've got to get this chap on live. And it should be really good fun, because he's a very funny guy.
And he keeps begging us.
Sorry about that. I just brought up half of my tea there. Sorry about that.
Yes, and it means I can put off my Retro Hall of Fame for another week, which is always good. Right then, gentlemen, should we do the recording?
Let's do the recording.
We'll just very quickly say, oh, hello, Dunk, you are back. I think I've missed you for the last couple of weeks, but you are back.
I
Thank you
didn't
very
worry
much.
about Dunk.
Yes.
Yeah, he's okay though, right?
Yes, he's in.
Right.
He's in the chat. Hello to Colin and Bryn. Hello to Anthony, who's watching, that I can see, and also Lynn and David, I think, are watching as well. Right, let's get on with this. Let's do recording. We are recording episode number 42, which will be out on Monday, the 1st of March. 1st of March already. We're into the third month of this year already. Where has it gone? Right.
That must remind me, actually, let's have the second quarter financial review. Just bear with me. Let's go live.
Here we go, recording. Enjoy the show.
3 men and a microphone.
Like a breakfast show.
Whoa, I don't know what happened there.
3 men and a microphone.
Like a breakfast show.
But not at breakfast.
And with no music.
And it's a podcast.
So nothing like a breakfast show, really.
It's not dropping out though, Darren. It's all good, you know.
These three media: Ian Barstow, Damien Lee, Darren Antrobus. 3 men and a microphone podcast.
Hello, welcome to 3 Men and a Microphone, episode 42. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for downloading this episode of the podcast, and thank you for joining us on our very entertaining journey. Well, we think it's entertaining anyway. My name is Ian Barstow. As ever, I am joined by the two rebel rabble, Mr. Damien Lee. Hello.
Do you know what? Tickle me pink and give me a squeeze. Hello, good evening, and do you know what?
Good evening.
I'm in a good morning, hi, afternoon, hi. In a great mood, to be honest, today.
Well, I'm going to let you in on a secret. I was going to keep this on the live show only, which you can watch every Wednesday evening on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. But Damien did send us a rather curt message just before we started recording this episode of the podcast, pretty much saying, maybe not wise to push Damo tonight. Kiss, kiss, hashtag just saying. So
it wasn't really moody though, was it? Because there was
no, that was passive aggressive, kiddo.
There was a all right, Dad. There was a kiss there, and there was there was a bit of a hug and everything. I was just saying, look, guys, I'm a bit sensitive today. Not had much sleep. Lots of bags under my eyes, and I just need, not to be prodded, not to be poked.
See, I said to Darren, just as we came on this to start recording this, because Darren is always first on the call with me. I said
I'm dedicated.
Yeah, dedicated and on
no
time.
Commitment, Sazzy, to be honest.
I did say to him, I said, it is a bit like a red rag to a bull. When you put it that like 10 minutes before we're going to go on and do the record, don't push me tonight. It's like an open invite to push all of the buttons possible just for the listeners. Hello, Darren. How are you?
Yeah, I'm absolutely fine. I'm just waiting for Damien to start his, the light at the end of the tunnel is nearly here, and his monologues, and when he starts, I'll just tell him to, oi.
Do you know what I would do? But you look like a living boil today. You are...
Who, me or the captain?
No, you, Darren. You look like a live boil, like a boil on someone's head. You are just red with and your head is the pus of the spot. And I don't get it. It's like...
You know what's going to happen? If you squeeze me, I'll go right in your eye. I did that once on holiday with the wife.
I bet you did.
Would you like the story or not?
Yeah,
not
go
really.
on. No, go on.
No. I think
No, go on. I want to hear that story.
So it was the year that we got engaged in Lanzarote, and I got bitten by something. I think it was a spider or something. I don't know. But this jelly thing appeared on my elbow. And for 3 or 4 days, we were only there for 7. 3 or 4 days, I was squeezing it in every way bitch possible. And then once in the middle of the street, I squeezed it that hard, it went straight in her eye, the jelly stuff. And then 5 minutes later, a wasp or a hornet came round. I hit that, and that went in her face as well.
You know what? It's terrible, honestly. When it spurts and it goes in her face, it's a nightmare because you don't want that to happen, do you? So what I used to do is just get a bit of tissue there so it wouldn't spurt, and then it would go onto the tissue.
You've been bitten a few times.
No, I have. And there's nothing worse when there's a real build-up of it and then you just release it, because that's when it really matters. Which is good, really, because sometimes you need to release the pus.
Damien's bits coming up later on the show. Also coming up today, we've got On The Box, and we also have a listener submitted Retro Hall of Famer. We'll be speaking to that listener later on in the show as well. If you want to get in contact with us, head over to the website, 3menandamicrophone.co.uk, and on there as well, you can also contact the show, and you can also submit your Retro Hall of Fame on there. If you want to find us on Facebook or Twitter, just search 3 Men and a Microphone, and you will find us. All good. So, of course, this week we have had the announcement from Boris Johnson about our plan.
Lucas came in the room then.
Sorry?
I thought Matt Lucas had walked in then.
For our path out of this COVID crisis, our path out from lockdown, our path out to freedom. And it was quite a complicated thing. There was lots of different tiers, lots of different not before dates and all that sort of stuff. So I have found someone that summed it up quite well, pretty much for most British people. This is your guide to coming out of lockdown.
So basically, Boris, what you're saying is on the 8th of March, I can get drunk with one friend in a park. On the 29th of March, I can get drunk with 5 people in my garden. On the 12th of April, I can get drunk with 5 people in a pub garden. 17th of April, I can get drunk with 5 people inside a pub. And the 21st of June, I need to book the entire week off of work because it's going to get mental. And we can go get drunk in nightclubs, hug everyone, and tell each other we love them, yeah?
So that is pretty much, that's what it will be like. Because as soon as those pubs are open, it's going to be an Armageddon weekend. Notice they're opening them on a Monday. So say goodbye to any work for a lot of people for that whole week because they are going to be absolutely packed.
I think, to be honest, that's even going to be one of the busiest days for us as a recruitment agency, or it's going to be one of the absolutely worst days. Sorry, my dog's threw up. Sorry about that. I've lost my leg. No, you're not. You're in the boozer, aren't you? Can't wait for that one.
So I had my vaccine. Have you had your vaccine yet, Darren?
No, not yet. It'll be a week on Monday, I think.
Okay, so I have had my first jab, my first vaccine. I got the Pfizer vaccine on Sunday.
I ask you, any side effects? Have you?
No, I had a slight sore arm about where they put the injection in, which is I've had that before when I've had the flu jab, but it was literally just not sore aching, just sore if you touched it. But I have to say it was so well run. I was in and out in under 3 minutes for the actual jab. Then I had to wait for 15 minutes in a drafty tent. But what I did like, and it was quite moving. Drafty tent. And genuinely quite moving. The person before me in the bay I was in was an older lady. And I sort of was waiting just as she had the jab in her arm. And she turned around and she had tears in her eyes. And she was literally, and she just sort of went to everyone and said, "Thank you so much." And it was like, it rings home the fact that she may not have left the house properly for over a year, almost a year. And she's now had this first jab, which will give her in 3 weeks' time, will give her protection. And it was a proper, and it genuinely happened. And I was genuinely I looked at her and I was like, because it just makes you a bit tearful that this thing that science has developed and this thing that science has come up with is now going out to everybody, and it will give people the opportunity to go out and have freedom and get back to normal life. And it's just like, it was like, I just thought it was a really nice story. It just warmed my heart.
Have you not been invited yet, Damo? Or?
No, unfortunately, from what you've told me as my two broadcast colleagues, I'm not celiac and I'm not fat. So for me, I haven't been invited yet. They may do for dodgy haircuts, or they may do for more bags under my eyes. I don't know.
However, I must say, with you being a version of Richard Branson, you are a empire, you are an entrepreneur. I would assume that you had your own medical team.
What? You all right?
I could just go straight into medical team.
I don't quite know where you went there, but I thought it was fantastic. No, I'm not due yet. However, you do realise how old you are when they start talking on the news that they're now going to offer it to over 40s. And I thought, great, I'm in a category. Brilliant. Here we go.
Well, talking of offering it to people and being in a list of different people, there was a story this week of a 30-year-old man who was offered the vaccine because the NHS had mistakenly listed his height at 6.2 centimetres. Now, one of the categories, 6.2 centimetres, is that a 6'2"? Yeah, 6.2 centimetres.
Like a borrower?
Most men will know that length. So, yeah, pretty much like a borrower. But one of the indexes they use is body mass index. If you have a very high body mass index, you're going to get called up for a jab. His body mass index was 28,000. 28,000! And you sort of think...
if you're only 6 centimetres tall.
I know, 6 centimetres. And he told Radio 5 Live, I've put on a few pounds in lockdown, but I was surprised that it made me clinically morbidly obese. I think it's slightly more than clinically morbidly obese. You're a 6 centimetre tall, 28,000 body mass index. You'd be like a blob of blubber.
Like a blob of...
Did they?
Oh, hello. You all right?
You're not there?
Just, I mean, again, for people that aren't watching visually, suddenly someone's having a silent disco in the studio. All of his lights are going.
That's a bit spooky. Spookiness is related to my story later.
Yeah. So instead of them putting 6'2" in his height, they put 6.2 centimetres. Do you not think they noticed?
Can I just say that is the cutest thing I've ever seen, by the way, just slightly digressing. But again, for people that aren't watching visually, Darren just had a drink of Coke. But you know when, like, well, this is a rare one because we don't do it now. But if you hug your partner, sometimes when you hug your partner, you might close your eyes like, oh, I love being in this moment. Darren just took a swig of his Coke there. I've never seen anything like it. Closed his eyes, leant back, like in a real... Was that the nicest swig of Coke that you've ever had?
What I've added to it is really nice.
Right, because you seemed like you were in heaven there.
Yeah, it is.
Is Jim Beam involved?
Sorry?
Is Jim Beam involved or Jack Daniels in your Coke?
Either or. They're all mates of mine.
See, again, this is where we differ. You've got Dazzler over there who's ready for about half an hour before you show. I come on with a nice 1940s flowery cup and a brew. Brilliant. How times have changed, I tell you.
And last thing on the COVID side from me. Obviously, there's been announcements today that schools may come back in the summer. There may be extra classes in the summer. Schools are going to go back in 2 weeks, Damien. Also, I'm sure you've got the hours and days and minutes counting down until you be able to dump them off.
It is. Yeah, it's not next week, it's the week after. Yes.
So,
as I keep saying to my children, it's next week, it's the last week at home. And they're like, are we moving out? Yes, you are.
Forever and ever.
See ya.
So, yes, Gavin Williamson is the education secretary. He reminds me of someone. I've found a clip of him on Sky News, being interviewed on Sky News.
There is a real question about your competence, Minister. How would you respond to it, given the litany of U-turns that your department has participated in?
Every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better.
Oh, Betty! Oh, Betty, I'm in charge of education, Betty!
He does, doesn't he? He does look a little bit like that.
Really well, yeah.
In all fairness, he was on Good Morning Britain. And I won't say when he's on because this goes out at different times and we're looking at continuity, baby. But he was on and it was all right. However, politicians, and this is a bit like sometimes turning round to one of my staff and just saying, can you work over? Everything comes at, so do you think that the handling of the crisis has been bad? In terms of government, we'd right, okay. So do you think it's been bad? I would say as a generalist politician, right. Do you think the handling of the pandemic has been bad? Yes or a no? The question was really good, to be honest, but I will say, what is it? So in the end, at the very end of the episode, I think, what was the wording he used? I was disappointed. Which isn't a no, which isn't a yes. It's
just like, you just want to go, will you answer the question? Oh,
that's a bit of off-mic radio work there, fella.
Thank you.
And the thing is, it's like, just be a bit more normal. You wouldn't go to the pub and, like, you just would, no, that's it. And just to let you know, Boris has had a haircut from his missus. So I said to my wife, look, if Carrie Simmons can do it, so can you, Mrs. Lee. Sort me out, because seriously, with the top of my head and these spikes, you're going to have a night out.
These Three Media. 3 Men and a Microphone podcast.
Hello to everyone that's watching at the moment. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. You are listening to 3 Men and a Microphone, the live show on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. Yes, Damien.
Could I just say as well, hello to Canada last week. We had listeners from Canada.
Yeah,
we've got listeners from...
Not back this week,
We've got listeners from... Okay. Yeah, that was Darren, put him off. We've got listeners from India. We've got listeners from Australia. And we've got listeners from the Blighty. And we thank each and every one of you for making this show more and more successful. We wouldn't be without you.
No, we wouldn't. Right, clean edit. Darren, have you got news?
Yes.
Yes, okay, right, good.
Yes, there's something that I saw in the papers only today, actually. It's very fresh off the press. I don't know if you saw it. The family, the dad that posted it online, has had a proper ripping apart from people. Basically, the headline of it was, "Watch the baby scream as it gets pulled under the bed by a ghost." Did you see this?
No.
Sorry, so the headline is, so there's a child, yes?
A child, toddler, maybe 2-3 years old.
Right.
According to the headline,
yep.
gets pulled under the bed by a ghost.
Don't like that.
I like all these ghost stories. I love all of this, right? So
It's not true, though.
Sorry?
It's not true. Ghosts aren't real. Anyway, carry on.
Whatever. Depending on what your religion is, it doesn't matter.
Right. So religion, they're not real.
No, I know. Anyway, I'm not getting bogged down what you believe and what you don't believe.
If they were real, would there not be hundreds of them everywhere instead of like a single one in an old house that just so happens doesn't have any electricity and is a bit spooky? Anyway, sorry, carry on.
Story that you can rip it apart afterwards.
Yeah, go on, carry on.
Yeah, right. So I'm watching this video intently this afternoon.
Was it a big ghost or a little ghost?
Didn't see a ghost.
Right. Who didn't see a
What
ghost?
I did see, and the suspense is brilliant. Because it's in black and white, so it's obviously the middle of the night. This baby, this toddler, leans over the side of the cot, or the cot bed.
Sure.
Looks underneath, spots something, gets back into the cot, slides around the other side, looks over the other side, spots something again. Doesn't seem alarmed, but then decides to roll out of the bed, get down on her or his belly, look under the cot, reach under the cot, and at that point I thought, oh God, if this baby flies underneath the cot, I'm going to freak out.
Well, I've got issues with this. Right. So...
Let him finish. I don't think it's quite finished the story.
I just don't get how he got out the cot. A cot's like a cot.
Cot bed thing.
Right.
Got no sides to it. Yeah?
It's not a cot then, it's a bed.
Well, it's a cot bed.
It's a bed though, isn't it?
Cot bed. Anyway, so the baby then slides off the side, puts his or his head underneath the cot bed.
So it was a toddler.
Toddler, yeah. Right. And
not
then...
a baby. In a bed.
Carry on, Darren.
Thank you, Captain. Reaches underneath, and I thought if this baby or this child flies, gets pulled quickly underneath this cot bed, I'm going to freak out. I do that thing, where you go close up to the camera and you look a bit more at it.
Yeah.
The baby crawled under the bed, doesn't get pulled. You can see the baby literally crawl under the bed. But why was the dad headline? So
this was a story.
This was a story it's actually I've photographed it on my phone.
But what was the end of the story?
That was it. That was it.
That was the end of the story?
Yeah.
Why do we bother? Why are you here?
I was expecting something slightly more at the end.
Please. Get ready for the button there.
I'm ready.
Because honestly, when you come on and you come out with absolute now... I mean, what was that? That wasted 2 minutes of my life, and I was gripped. I thought, right, okay, so we've gone from a story where he was a baby. During the story, he morphed into a toddler. He was in a cot. There wasn't a cot, it was a bed. And then there was no ghost at all because he decided to get out of the bed and crawl under the bed. I thought, right, okay, so what's the headline? What did he find under there? No, Damien, that was in the story.
The point is, the dad made out as though, there's a ghost in the bed, the baby gets snatched.
It's not the only one that made out it was something else. So did you.
Exactly. That's what.
And it came to get ready, Ian, and that story came to absolute all.
Thank you, Darren.
Thank you.
Have you got any stories, Damien? Oh no, you didn't prepare. Right. So, I'm just quickly, just before we move on to then talked about the fact that how much both me and Damien will be interested in doing something in drag. Now, I'm going to try and get Darren to agree to something now while we are on air, in the fact that I have an idea, and I'm not going to give you any details about this idea, but I have an idea which involves the three of us in some sort of drag setup. Perhaps involving Tina Biscuit as well. So I just want to get your commitment now, Darren, on air, on live, on the podcast itself, that you will participate in this might happen, might not happen event that I have thought up.
This is what you call throwing somebody under a bus.
Yes, it is. After that story, you deserve it. So give me a yes or a no. If it's a no, this is the last time you'll be on the podcast.
Ultimatum again.
Yes.
Right, okay. So Yeah, okay.
That's amazing. That is down in. That is in the trenches of episodes now. Coming soon, at some point in the future, Darren, Damien, and Ian will be appearing
in drag at some sort of event / live show / something another. Just keep listening to the podcast for something that might happen. There is no promises, but it could well be a very entertaining thing if it all happens. That means that's going to be quite a bit of work for me, but anyway, it'll be worth it.
Have you been waiting for this since the days that we worked on radio together?
I've been waiting for an excuse to do it. Yeah, you know, I'm seeing you in a proper sparkly beard, because you can put glitter in your beard and just make it so sparkly.
Actually, on a holiday once, I wore one of those comedy rock white wigs.
No, it's going to be no. We're not going to do it. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it properly.
I'm going to do it properly.
We're going to be like Drag Race UK.
Amazing.
Makeup and stuff.
Yeah, God, yeah.
You might even have some billies.
And my vision is that we don't see each other.
No, sorry.
No.
What is that?
Go on, Damien.
The billies, you know. The billies.
Billies?
I don't know what that reference is.
The billies.
I know. I don't know that
The
reference.
billies. The billies.
I've got them already, but they're covered in hair at the minute.
Oh, Darren. Oh, my God. So one of my straight friends today just sent me a WhatsApp. Nothing on it. Nothing at all. Oh, there was at the beginning. Just said, yay. Like that. Just yay. And I thought, all right, maybe he's, sharing a lead with me or something like that. Poster. Birmingham Pride, September. So I bought me tickets, I tell you. Every year, got to get yourself to a gay pride. Fantastic. They are great.
I haven't been to a gay pride for a number of years, so I might go to Birmingham Pride, but I might go a different day to you. Right.
I was going to say, there's 2 days.
Yeah, and it definitely won't be that. So, yeah, keep listening to Three Men and a Microphone for more information if it happens.
This is Three Men and a Microphone podcast.
Is that your favourite?
Doesn't need any comment whatsoever. Hello to, I've seen a couple of new people come into the podcast. Mark Hewitt, hello. Thank you very much for joining us. Paul Burgess is on as well. David and Lynn Holland are there as well. Right. I'm conscious that we are 8:30 and we haven't done half of what we're going to do. So should we crack on?
Yeah, just before you do, got to say hello to Leanne Benrose as well, who's listening. Funny, I hadn't seen Leanne for years. Saw her in Sainsbury's, but we had a mask on. You can still recognise people.
Sainsbury's.
Really got to get over this middle class thing. Got to say hello to Jamie Harris as well, Matthew Wardle and Sam Munger, who are all watching live as well. But I'm sure my captain is going to say, clean edit, and we'll go into a different section.
I am, but I'll just say to Anthony, I am not tucking. I'm just going to say that. And if I explain that to what that is to Darren, there's no way he's joining in.
Absolutely not. Got no chance.
Great.
Right, let's do On the Box.
These Three Media. Three Men and a Microphone podcast.
So this is On the Box. This is where we recommend to you TV that we have watched, TV that is coming up in the next 7 days. Darren, do you want to start this week?
Yes, I don't mind, yeah. I have a new one, which will be 3 weeks on the trot, and I've had a modern On the Box, which will please you to no end.
It will.
Seriously, if it's any better than that rubbish story that you had a moment ago, seriously.
This one is a Netflix production, so my hat off again to the streaming services for this. And it starred, who did it star this time? It starred one of the guys that was in The Full Monty back in the 90s. He's a much older chap now, and he played a police officer that believed that somebody did do a murder. A whole family, in fact, his whole family. The film is a true story from 1985 in the down southeast area, and the film was turned into a like a 5 or 6 parter, so 6 episodes.
Is this the one I mentioned last week? Go on, give me the name.
White Farm House Down, something like that.
Yeah, it's exactly what I said last week. Yes, I said it at the end.
White House Farm.
Yes, I was on
It's
episode.
been on ITV, hasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was on
It's got the
ITV.
same-
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was on ITV this time last year, and I missed it completely. And it's been shown on Netflix. You don't get any of the adverts. Really good. I really enjoyed it.
It is very good. Got the guy from Cucumber in it as well.
Yes, it has.
Who's that one then?
The son. Without giving it away, it's the son. So yeah, he's Freddie, someone or another. His name is. But yes, it's very good.
Plays a really good part.
Well, it's based on a true story, isn't it? Which was a horrible tragedy back in, I think it was the 80s or early 90s. I think it was
85, as Darren said.
Right,
Darren, your
okay.
internet is rubbish this evening. I'm just going to say that. It's just as you keep blurring out and stuff. Anyway, sorry, Damien.
No, so it was a great show, that was, and it's such a horrible tragedy as well. But probably again, for the benefit of the item, it's probably best not to recycle things that were on the previous week. So again, get ready, Ian. So not only have you come up tonight with an absolutely story, but now you've also done a repeat of the same TV program as last week, which again, get ready, Ian, is an absolute piece of. Why'd you bother? Seriously. You turn up looking like a boil. You know,
It's one of them shows, isn't it, Damien, today for you?
you have your Coke drink, and you slurp it and close your eyes. I'm not loving you tonight, Darren, to be honest. Not loving you.
My on the box for this week is, let's move on. It's a new series that's on Apple TV Plus. Which, if you've bought an Apple product in the last 12 months, you will have for nothing. And I recommend you watch some of the shows on there, and particularly this one. It is on its second series, and it's called For All Mankind. And it's, if you're into your space travel and your space exploration and the moon and all that sort of stuff, it's a proper nice geeky TV show. It is basically an alternative history show where Russia landed on the moon first, and the space race has continued all the way through to the 80s.
Wow.
And it's how that alternate universe would be. And for example, in the first episode of Series 2, which was out this week, they mentioned things like electric cars were around in the 80s rather than them just coming out now. Prince Charles married Camilla rather than marrying Diana. It's all these little bits that in an alternative universe. So the first series is out now. You can watch that full series on Apple TV Plus, and the second series is out every Friday evening on Apple TV. So I would recommend watching that because it's really good. And
I
very
like stuff
quickly,
like that.
it's well worth it, and it looks beautiful as well. It's so well done. And very quickly as well, a brand new film which is out on the 26th of February, starring Tom Holland, him of Spider-Man fame. And Billy Elliot. He played Billy Elliot on the West End as well, and directed by the Russo brothers, who directed Captain America, Avengers, and loads of other films. It's a brand new film called Cherry, which is about an ex-soldier who is suffering from PTSD and drug problems. So it's not going to be a happy film, but there is so much talk about this film being Oscar and Golden Globes and all that sort of awards buzz that surrounds some films. And I am really looking forward to it. So that's Cherry, which by the time this goes out, you'll be able to watch on Apple TV Plus.
See, I've not seen many films on the streaming sites. I watch a lot of the series, but the films are meant to be fantastic.
Oh, there is so many good films on Netflix and Amazon, and
I think both you and Darren have said that the films are great on there. So
and Apple TV
again,
Plus have got some really good films as well.
I've got to be in a really filmy sort of mood, but my choice this week for On the Box is something that's been all over social media, and even I put it on last night. It's on Netflix. It's called Behind Her Eyes, and people are raving about it. It's a British supernatural psychological thriller. It's created by Steve Lightfoot, based on the 2017 book of the same name. It's got Simona Brown, Eve Houston, Tom Bateman, and it's 6 episodes. And basically, the synopsis follows the story of a single mum whose world is thrown off when she begins an affair with her new boss. She doesn't know it's her new boss until she sees him the next day, and it happens to be the new boss. matters take an even stranger turn when she's then drawn into a really unlikely friendship with the boss's wife. So not only is she becoming really good friends with the wife, she's also having relations with the husband. It sort of starts as just a bit of a love triangle, but it becomes dark, psychological, and sometimes people even say scientific. I can't go into too much because it's one of these things you've got to watch, but I have never known a program to fry my brain so much as the last episode and the ending to this program. If you can devote some time to it, it's sexy, it's suspense, and the end, I kid you not, and I know you, Darren, you will be, I can't believe it. Seriously.
He'll probably mention it on next week's On the Box.
Well, I've got to say, that is on my list for this weekend. Because I saw the trailer that came up straight after I watched the farm one, and the trailer is really weird because all you see in the trailer is the woman staring, peeling something, fruit or veg, and all you see at the end is a go. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it is a great show. Give it a watch. Behind Her Eyes on Netflix. It's British as well, which is always great. 6 episodes, well worth a watch. And social media, I just put on a couple of comments about it last night, and the amount of people that kind of went, I know, oh yeah. But it's been said that it's a bit Marmite, the ending. You either really love it or you really hate it. I happen to love it. So give it a go. Ian, if you can. Me and you tend to like the same things. Behind Her Eyes, Netflix.
Excellent, thank you. So those are our recommendations. Darren is White House Farm Thing. Mine is For All Mankind on Apple TV, and also Cherry, brand new film. I will be watching that Friday. And Damien's is Behind Her Eyes on Netflix. That was this week's On the Box. There we go. Yeah, thanks for that, Darren.
What?
You obviously listened to last week's show.
Yeah.
Oh, you obviously didn't hear my bit about the White House farm then, no?
I'll just skip past your bits anyway.
Yeah, I'll skip past your bits as well.
I'm going to go straight to the main comedian bit.
Damien, are we doing the bit that you said to me, you messaged me about, sorry, on air production meeting again? I have music, or do you want to do it next week?
No. I would go into. We're short on time, aren't we? Actually,
we are pretty full at the moment, so
yeah,
we need to get
retro then.
Do you know not Damien's bits?
We can do it at the end if you want, but I think retro. Do you reckon?
It's easier
for you.
If we do Damien's bits now, if we can keep it shortish,
yeah,
and then we'll do. We'll get our guest on for Retro Hall of Fame.
No worries.
Right,
just for people that aren't familiar with this. This doesn't go out in the podcast, this bit. This is the live bit, because we're live. And we record it live, and then these bits we take out, edit it all together, and it sounds all right, to be honest.
It sounds fairly professional-ish most of the time.
Actually, yeah.
Right, so let's do Damien's bits then, shall we? Here we go.
Damien loves his bits.
He loves showing off his bits.
He loves talking about his bits.
So it's time
for Damien's bits.
This is a part of the show where Damien spreads his bits for everybody to see. Over to you, Damien.
So on Damien's Bits, we like to discuss things that are a little bit wacky, a little bit out there. So we've had sex dolls, we've had food, we've had whippings. A lot happens on this. But what we haven't had is anything about revenge. And sometimes revenge that's justified. Now, this is all about Tinder. Darren, are you familiar with Tinder?
I am. I've been on there. Is that the
what?
one?
When? How long ago?
Hang on.
No, that was Grindr, Darren.
And have you been on recently?
No, I have been on Tinder.
Well, this story might be about you, if you've recently been on Tinder.
Got to be about 6 months ago.
No, I'm going to say the name here. Eric.
Okay, right, yeah.
So Eric was looking for love, okay? And he wasn't completely honest about his circumstances, prompting Nadia to do some detective work. So basically the story revolves around Eric and Nadia, okay? Now, on your quest for love, you've got to be careful. People aren't always who they claim to be. So this is what happened to Nadia. She's from Atlanta in the US. And when she matched with a charming young man called Eric, their conversation quickly derailed after the American discovered he was cheating on his wife, Darren. Darren. As a stark reminder to us all that people like Eric actually exist, Nadia decided to share screen grabs of their chat, of course, on TikTok. You know, keep it private, your personal life, let's put it on TikTok. So, she shared extracts of their initial conversation, and it appeared promising. No cheesy chat-up lines, just generic messages. Eric can be seen saying that he wants a serious one lady kind of thing, but he's not dated anyone else, and he hasn't really got a lot of commitments. So it's all good so far. So Nadia decided to check out his claims, and she did a bit of digging. So it appeared that the man with no commitments, never really been in a relationship before, had 6 children and a wife and a house, a puppy, and he also had monkeys and chickens. So
monkeys?
Monkeys. He had monkeys. Yeah, gets better, this story. Now, she shared a screen grab of the wife's profile where she confirmed, now bearing in mind this guy hasn't been in a serious relationship for 25 years. Now, Nadia decided to get revenge as she joked in her video caption on TikTok, "I woke up and I chose to be petty." So the pair had a date arranged for Saturday, and she decided to ask Eric if it would be okay to bring a female friend to the date. So she agreed. She went, "Yeah, no problem." Sorry, he agreed. Now, she then sent a photo to him of the friend that she was going to bring along. And the actual photo was of him, his wife, with one of the little monkeys. So ultimately, now this is what I always love, the TikTok comments on this one. One viewer commented, "The fact that he met his wife online as well, what a pig." The other one joked, "Not all heroes wear capes." We then went on to the third saying, "This is why I stopped online dating. It's exhausting. Your reply was incredible. P.S. Do you have his number?" What does that mean, pervert? So this week's on Damien's Bits, it's all about transparency and openness and realness. Sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, you will get burnt. And those were Damien's Bits.
Thank you very much. It's catfishing is what it is, and it's you have to be so careful with online profiles because anybody can be anybody.
I tell you what, I've been on some dates when I was on POF, and
POF,
Plenty of Fish.
Oh right, okay.
And I met up with some
swinging site, isn't
it?
Sorry, no, that's a.
No. And some of those people weren't what they put in their photos, and you feel really guilty by going, "You're not the person on your profile picture."
So, how did online dating go with you? Did you wear red?
Yes. And I held roses underneath the clock.
I beg your pardon. That's a talent if you can hold them with you. With you.
Are they thornless? Don't want them sticking in. We'll have
I'm
more.
an 80s child. I don't have that problem.
Oh. Okay. Oh, you've had the slip, have you? Oh.
We'll chop that bit out.
No, we won't. Anyway, so
I made him more flustered now.
Yes. One day.
I look at you a bit differently now.
I didn't catch it when I was stuck in the cupboard. Anyway. One day we will tell that story when we're safe. No one is listening. Right. I need to send a message to our person to tell them that it's time for them to join.
There's a show we can do, isn't there? One day, Confessions of the Three Men.
Yes. That's going to be the Patreon special. The uncut,
Definitely.
the uncut drunk
yeah,
one.
definitely. That it will be you need to subscribe to that one.
Yeah,
100%.
you need to pay us a lot of money to be able to hear that one. I think a bottle of whiskey each, and then see what happens. Although no, we're knowing Damien, it could go somewhere else completely. Right. Anyway, we have a special guest coming on, so if you bear with me. Oh, hello. That's the house phone. Someone get that. Sometime today.
I always thought you broadcasted from a studio.
It is. I forgot to turn it on silent. Sorry.
Right. Yeah.
Studio phone.
Our special guest is joining us now. Right, here we go. Right, let me change the screen. Oh, no. Hang on. There we are. Hello.
He's muted.
Oh, you're muted. You're muted.
Yeah. Turn your microphone on.
I'm here.
Hello.
Good evening, boys. Let me flip I need to flip screens off this. My camera's here, my screen's here, and I'm like, hello, who am I talking to?
Don't worry, Anthony. With the last conversation we had, we were flipping things as well. Seriously.
So, for those watching live at the moment, this is it Anthony or Ant? Or Anthony. Okay, this is Anthony. He is one of our very regular listeners. Has watched us since the start. I'm interested, Anthony. Where did you find out about us?
Sadly, for me, he's bottom right from good old Darren down there.
So there he is.
I am. As you keep saying, Darren has only one listener. Yes, that's me, listening to his radio show whilst I'm at work in the van.
Oh, bless you. Bless you. And do you know what? Something, the comments that Ant gives to us and the suggestions he has with the show, do you know what? Joe likes it, whatever. What's his name? Ollie Oakes, the one that got rickets. What's his name again?
Adam Rickett.
That's the one. Who needs them? Because when we've got a listener like Ant, who, do you know what? He's absolutely wearing a T-shirt that I want, which is amazing. Love that.
I love that. I've always wanted a rainbow T-shirt from the children's TV series. I've always wanted one of those.
See, he's so behind the times, isn't he, Ant? He really is. Honestly, only from a real life bear. Seriously, this is what I will say. But there we go. Ian, over to you to introduce the amazing Retro Hall of Fame.
Yes, we shall jump straight in. Right, Anthony, I have the sound. Hang on, bear with me. I didn't print it off.
God. You will get a cue for it, don't worry.
Okay, good. Right, fine, good. Thank you. Nice production bit there. Right, let's do this then. Clean edit, Retro Hall of Fame. That one.
It's time to delve into the archive for the Retro Hall of Fame on the 3 Men and a Microphone podcast.
So it is that part of the show where we delve into the Retro Hall of Fame. If you want to suggest an item to go in, then all you need to do is head over to the website 3menandamicrophone.co.uk, fill in the form you'll find on there, and we could get you on the show. So far, entries into the Retro Hall of Fame have included ones from Joe Lycett, Celebrity Big Brother 2006, Lisa Appleton, The Charleston from the 20s, and Elliot Kennedy last week, Big Tracks, which is my favourite so far.
And I did check that out, and thank you to Ant as well, who actually shared that on social media with me. How good is that?
Damien, are you on it? I listened back to the episode. I'm sorry, Anthony. I'll introduce you shortly, Anthony. I listened back to the episode. Do you not know what Google is?
I mean, I resent that, to be honest.
Well, as I said to you earlier on this week, I am not going to become your secretary of sending everything to you. Learn how to use the... I was on the phone to him for like 20 minutes trying to add email onto Outlook. It's just...
But he's there for me. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, we digress.
Yes.
That tracks, the Big Tracks, phenomenal. And even the advert is awesome. With
it's amazing. Yes.
And that for me properly is a Retro Hall of Fame.
Yes.
So
I told you.
I mean, look, the Charleston thing went in there.
Hello? Do you want to say that again? Sorry, you broke up then.
Been on in the ether.
Yeah.
Well, Certainly was the ether. Anyway, Retro Hall of
Yeah,
Fame.
shall I do it? Yes, if you do want to mention and you do want to nominate a Retro Hall of Fame, then you could well end up on the show, as today's guest is. We are joined by our first listener entry into the Retro Hall of Fame. It is Anthony. Hello, Anthony. How are you?
Good evening, Captain. I'm very well, thank you very much. Great to joining this fabulous podcast. My first ever podcast.
Yay!
Absolutely loving it. Yes. As you say, listen every week to the live, then listen again on the Monday. Stick it on in the van as I'm driving between customers' houses. Love it.
This is what we like.
What do you do, Ant? What's the job?
I actually work for a very well-known satellite TV company.
Sky.
Yes.
That was my miming then.
Yes.
Where would we be without a Sky man, though?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know?
I'm the man going up the ladders fixing your dishes.
There we go. In all weathers, because my neighbour is a Sky man or satellite provider man, and I tell you, blizzards, but you know, I mean, just out of interest, I'm going to throw a really geeky question at you now. So, when I was a lad, I was a bit of a wrestling fan. So back in the day, that's like one of the you'd get it to watch the wrestling.
Yeah.
Now it was quite. There was in the 90s. It wasn't huge. Sky wasn't. It wasn't really. What are we on now? How many subscribers or how many people have actually got Sky?
We are looking millions. If I remember rightly, we're about 10 million, if not more.
Brilliant.
It's huge.
Knows his facts there. So if he walked,
we're not sponsored by Sky in any way whatsoever. It'd be nice if we were, but
balance, by the way, everybody. Sky is only weather permitting, by the way, isn't it? Really?
Well, it is, but that's the nature of satellite technology, Darren. But I would not be without my Sky Q box at all. I think it's brilliant, and it's the only way. It's the only way you can get 4K, proper 4K on over TV aerial. So it's that's how I'm going to have it.
It is fantastic. And my children have no concept of. Do you know what? Back in the day, if you wanted to go for a wee, you couldn't just pause it.
I know.
Let's go for a wee.
Yeah.
And miss it.
Yeah.
And I still say now, so if I'm out, I'll phone the missus and I'll go, all right, love, can you tape this? You're not taping anything. What are you taping? But you do. Anyway.
You Sky Plus it.
Yes.
You do.
That's nothing at all now because Sky Plus is gone.
Yeah, Sky Q now. It's all
about the
Sky
Q.
Q it. Yeah. So yeah, if Anthony wants to share this with his employers and they want to sponsor this podcast, we will gladly accept any monetary donations in order to to help us fund this brilliant podcast that we do.
3 men and a microphone. We always look up to the
Sky. There's the tag. There's the read. We've got it. It's brilliant. Right, let's do this then. So, our Retro Hall of Fame this week is from Anthony, and he's got a good one, and I'm very excited for him to announce what it is. Right, so over to you, Anthony, for your Retro Hall of Fame. What are we going to perhaps put in?
So, I'm going to start with a bit of a title. Which, for those of you watching the live, sorry for those listening, you can't see this. It does say, filmed in Super Marionation.
Oh.
Now, Darren, you're probably too young. Damo, you should definitely remember this.
Yeah, he will, yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Great.
Now, for me, this was, and always will be, my childhood. Weekends at the grandparents', you'd slept over the night, having your Sunday lunch, then you'd sit in front of the coal fire, and this would be on the telly. One particular series. So I'm going to say to you a couple of names. Captain Troy Tempest, Marina, Tintin, Virgil, The Hood. Any ideas which way I'm going?
Marina.
Oh, yes. God. See, I told you we'd remember this.
Tell you.
Right, but if I ask the captain to play this clip. Of course, it is the famous Thunderbirds. You can't get any more retro than the work of Jerry Anderson. Absolutely brilliant. Thunderbirds, Stingrays, another one of my great favourites. Do you remember Terrorhawks?
Yes, loved it.
Yes.
Loved it.
Exactly.
Joe 90.
Yeah. Do you remember then? All right then. There was UFO. Space 1999 was one of his.
Yeah, I remember Space
that one.
1999,
Yeah.
but not UFO.
Not UFO, no, I don't remember that one.
UFO. And then he did have a flop, Space Precinct.
I do remember that.
No, I don't
Wasn't that
remember.
with real actors in it as well?
Yes.
I do like Rhino Head type people. No, that was Doctor Who.
That was Doctor Who.
Yes, that was Doctor Who. Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, for me, it has to be Thunderbirds. Now, I am a genuine Thunderbird fan, so it can't be the recent remake that was obviously all CGI'd and computer animated. It's got to be the actual TV series.
The one with the strings.
The one with the strings. Hence
But
why
let's also say, though, what was a bit creepy sometimes was you'd kind of have you'd have them doing all of the wibbly wobbly, but then all of a sudden, when they kind of went to make a cup of tea, it was some real dirty, hairy hands. Oh, hi there. Some guy with dirty hands. But occasionally, if you were lucky, you'd have a bit of a close-up of Lady Penelope getting out the car, bit of leg.
Oh, what a surprise.
and that was his wife, Sylvia.
Cracking pair of legs on Silver, tell you. Really
He
was.
voiced Lady Penelope as well.
But Thunderbirds came back in a big way. They repeated it on BBC Two, and I think it was the kind of the early 90s. And then obviously Blue Peter got hold of it with the amazing Tracy Island. Do you know what, Ant? I mean, we'll get to the vote in a moment. But Jerry Anderson, I don't think he gets enough credit. And Thunderbird, all of them, apart from the cruddy one that was under the water. Which was that one? Right. Thunderbird 4.
Stingray. Oh, sorry.
Out of the Thunderbirds. What was the one under the water?
The red one.
No, Thunderbird 4. How dare you, Damien?
Oh no, it's always the green. It's always the green one for me. Thunderbird 2.
Well, yeah, Thunderbird 2, but Thunderbird 2 carried Thunderbird 4.
Bit wimpy though, weren't it? Thunderbird.
A little boat. Would you like to hear? I can actually do, because I'm the man of many voices. Man
of many stories from tonight as well. You re-asked it from about 6 weeks ago.
Go start. Yes, my lady.
What was that? Sorry, what did you say?
That sounded like the Hood to me.
Yeah.
Yes, my lady.
That's nothing like
Was that meant to be Parker?
Yeah. Darren, do not give up your day job.
I mean, that was that again.
Yeah. Hang on. What's the voice like? It's quite an old posh, isn't it? Old posh voice.
Yeah. Very shaky.
Yes, milady. No, that's even worse.
I feel embarrassed. I feel embarrassed by all of this. Embarrassed and slightly turned on. I don't know which way to look. But there we
this
go.
will shock you as well. Do you know they only did 2 series?
I do, which was amazing. I can't believe
32 episodes. That's it.
It's one of those things where it's
playing them and replaying them.
Yeah, but less is more. A bit like Fawlty Towers. They only ever did 7 episodes of Fawlty Towers. The less you do, the more people just love it. I think is
a couple of listeners have said that's how we should have gone.
Yeah, stopped at episode 2.
Seriously,
sometimes I don't blame
just
them.
Go for 6, lads, and then just cut it. You know. My mum actually back in the day had a real crush on. Was it Troy? What was his surname, Ant? Troy
Tempest from Zero.
Yeah. And then which one was Maria? Was she the mermaid?
Marina,
Aquamarina.
Yes.
Yeah. So, honestly,
Anthony, have you got figures of these? Have you got models of the Thunderbirds?
I used to as a child. I used to have Thunderbird 2.
So
Yes.
have you got any of the sort of like the adult models, the ones where they're very expensive and you don't take them out of the box and you stick them on the shelf and you just have your
kind of show, by the way.
I think we covered something of that in Damien's bits a few weeks ago.
You know what I mean, though, the collectibles.
Yes, I know what you mean. No, if I could, I would.
Is that the other half telling you that no, your obsession is too much? I'm not going to allow it.
Let's put it this way, and this could also be another retro, but it's going to be another day. I am an AFOL, and my other half hates me getting more. Damon's eyes lit up.
A what?
AFOL.
AFOL? Hang on. AFOL.
Didn't you say that was a younger bear?
What's an...
No.
I don't know what that is.
What's an AFOL?
What is an AFOL?
Adult fan of Lego.
Yeah.
You're weird. That stuff is lethal.
It's terrible when you tread on it, though, isn't it? It's the worst pain. Seriously. Really.
Worse than the plug.
The plug. My goodness.
Anyway, we are moving off topic.
We're digressing.
Yes, we are digressing.
Yes, so there you go.
So
Retro Hall of Fame nomination, Thunderbirds.
Fantastic.
Okay.
And I will say, from a guest point of view, if you're just tuning in, Anthony is one of our listeners. We've had Joe Lycett, we've had Lisa Appleton, we had, who was our other guy? Adam Ricketts as well.
Elliot Kennedy.
Ant is our first listener. Pardon?
Elliot Kennedy.
Elliot Kennedy, yeah. Ant's our first listener who's come on and done a retro. And I've got to say, it's a bloody good one. I like it. Really do.
Okay, so let's vote. So the entry from Anthony to the Retro Hall of Fame, and it is going to be among esteemed friends if it gets in, is for Thunderbirds. So, Darren, can I have your vote, please? It is a yes, or is it a no?
Just remember, Darren, I'm your only listener.
Not anymore. Basically, originally, I was going to say no. Do you know why? And let me tell you why.
Go on then.
Because I was always a cartoon fan, and I never actually watched a full episode of Thunderbirds, but I am aware of how iconic Thunderbirds is, and if I see it anywhere now on like a retro channel somewhere, I will watch it as an older adult, right? So on that basis, I'm going to switch my answer to a yes.
Anthony, just out of interest, are you free Wednesday evenings from 8 o'clock from next week onwards? You might be looking for a replacement, yeah? Okay. Yeah, okay, yeah, fine. Damien, what is your vote, please?
Do you know what? It does take me back, this does. Thunderbirds was probably one of my favourites. Just the sets, the creepy hairy hands, Lady Penelope's legs. However,
Hey-mo.
there is no however. For me, it needs to go into the Retro Hall of Fame.
And not that it makes any difference because, you know, it's already there, but mine would be a big fat yes as well. So, congratulations. Entry number 4 into the Retro Hall of Fame is... has entered the Retro Hall of Fame. We need a graphic for this. We need some sort of online graphic that can go out over the live stream to say Retro Hall of Fame entry. Well done, Anthony.
Yeah, well done, Anthony. And you know what? It's been an absolute pleasure. We thank you for your support of the show. Spread the word. Tell a friend, tell a cousin, tell someone in the street, tell someone in the shop.
Or just every house you go to, just tell them you've got to listen to the Retro Hall of Fame. That's all you need to do. The Retro Hall of Fame, 3 men and a microphone even.
Put Sky in.
I don't need to, because on my uniform, I do have a little badge that says 3 men and a microphone that I got sent. Yes, I wear one of them every day.
Love him. Tell you.
I won't tell you, Anthony, though, but you know, the As Yet Unnamed podcast, which is how this podcast started, has been outvoted for by the other 2 members of the team, and it is now not mentioned anywhere. So, so these, I'm going to take it off then. Yeah, so these badges I've got. Say, what's Darren?
Can you not wear that badge ever again?
Yeah, so.
Brand.
All of these badges I've got printed are now worthless because these 2 don't like the name of the podcast. Anyway,
well, maybe at some point you could put it forward to a future Retro Hall of Fame.
What, the As Yet Unnamed podcast? You won't vote for it. I know you won't. That was this week's Retro Hall of Fame. Oh, what is that you have been handed?
Been handed
and who have you been handed that by? Are they still there?
Literally just come upstairs.
That's what Darren said.
Is he still there? Hang on. Lean down.
Oh, we've got the fella in.
Hey!
It's a long way, that is.
That's Simon.
Hello.
Hello, Simon. How are you?
Simon's on as well. I love this. We couples on the show as well. Love it.
Simon.
Yes.
You regularly feed cake.
I do regularly feed.
He's a feeder.
Yeah, come round and I'll feed.
Darren likes cake.
Darren, you said you had one of these, didn't you, before you came on air?
What?
Didn't you say you had a poo? What's it called again?
If it was white, I'd be worried.
What's it called again?
Tiramisu.
You see, it's the link. I thought you said he's having a poo. It just went again.
Chocolate cake.
Behave. I tell
Go
you.
now, bye.
Anthony, thank you so much for coming on the show. You are an absolute delight. Much love. Stay safe. Amazing. You licked that spoon.
Wrong end as well.
Oh.
No problem. Thanks, guys.
Not the first time you said that, is it?
Darren Antrobus, Ian Barstow, and Damien Lee.
Oh, yeah.
Anthony, thank you so much. Oh, he's gone. Right, okay, right, fine. Let me move back over to that one. Oh, what fun.
That was good fun, that.
It was.
That was great. And thank you for Anthony.
Yes,
I
thank
suppose
you.
we better say, if you want to appear live on a Retro Hall of Fame, how do we do it, Ian?
I will clean edit into it, because then I can snap it into the end. Actually, let me get music. Bear with me. There we go. So, if, like Anthony, you want to be... Start that again.
I'd let Damien do it, he's better.
Ah, shut up. And if, like Anthony, you want to have an item in the Retro Hall of Fame, all you need to do is go to 3menandamicrophone.co.uk, follow the form down halfway down the page, you'll be able to see it there, submit your entry, and we will get back in touch with you, and you can be live on the show and in the podcast trying to get your Retro Hall of Fame item entered. Thank you very much to Anthony. I hope you enjoy your tiramisu. And it was a very, very good Retro Hall of Fame. Now, next week, I think it may have to be my first entry into the Retro Hall of Fame. I have one. I do have one, and it's a good one. And I think you will both like it. So we'll find out next week on 3 Men and the Microphone podcast if I do indeed get my item in the Retro Hall of Fame. Thank you. Right. Are we about ready? Are we at the end? Yes. Do we want to do the finish?
Yep.
Yes?
Let's go.
Okay, good. Right, let's do the ending. I need the show ending talk over music, which is that one. And that is it for this week's episode of 3 Men and a Microphone. Thank you so much for listening and making it towards the end. Thank you very much to Anthony for his brilliant Retro Hall of Fame. Much appreciated. We do like our listeners coming on, so if you have got a Retro Hall of Fame, do go over to the website. Darren, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me, and thank you very much for, just being you.
Whatever. Damien, thank you very much. Nice and short.
Great show. Thank you for Anthony. Very, very, very funny Retro Hall of Fame. Stay safe, everyone. Take care. And thanks for listening.
That's enough.
Yeah, that is enough, yeah.
Do you know what? I really hate you two, because this is the end of the show where you get an opportunity to be nice. One of you is a miserable fossil, and the other one...
The end of the show where Damien can get on his high horse and go, there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Do you know what? This is about the only part of the show where you say anything half worth listening to. Oh, thank you very much, and take one.
We are back again next week for more of the same. Thank you so much for your continued support. If you want to watch us do this live every Wednesday evening, 8 p.m, Facebook, Twitter, and on YouTube as well. You will find us on there. Until next week, look after yourselves. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you and you will hear us in 7 days' time. Until then, ta-da! And don't forget, we are still on, Damien. We haven't gone off the line.
No, it
yet.
was. I was just wondering at what point you were going to say who made that show, which production company, but that didn't really go into your mind, really, did it?
Bollards. No. Do we need to do it again?
Don't worry about that.
No, don't worry about it. Maybe just edit it in at the end.
Yeah, just be quiet then. 3 Men and a Microphone is a These 3 Media production. There you go.
Slick
Yeah,
there we
thanks.
go. Very nice.
Just to,
Very nice.
on the live feed, I didn't say it as we were doing the record, but Dunk just went, God, Anthony, you're older than I thought. Thank you to everybody that has watched the live show tonight. I'm really glad people are enjoying this, and and thank you to Anthony for coming on. And I'm just glad we're bringing a bit of brightness into people's weeks on a Wednesday evening. So do continue to listen, do continue to spread the word for the podcast. We've got some big plans, big ideas coming up over this course of this next year for this and other things as well, which we will reveal as and when. And when we're allowed to, we will do that. So I think that is where we will end tonight. Don't forget, subscribe to the podcast, follow all the links that we send out, like and share the social media posts as well. It really does help us spread the word and spread the love. I'm sounding like Damien. I'll shut up now. Right, Darren, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And thank you to you two for saving us through these lockdowns, boys. It's nice.
Yeah, it has been nice, and people are watching on the lives. We actually said to someone we were chatting to the other day, none of us had kind of seen each other for years, and we've got to thank the captain for that. He reached out to us, we had a chat, and then we all decided, you know what, we're all a bit fed up of the original lockdown, and that's how the show was born, really. And you know what, we've had some lovely comments. And we're making people have a giggle, and you know what? It's worth it, isn't it? Because it's been hard. Hard.
And I forgot to ask this in the main podcast, so I might edit this in towards the end. So we'll do a clean edit for this bit. Darren, did you tell me you were recognised in B&M Bargains? Did someone come up to you from this very podcast that listens or watches and go, "Are you Darren from Three Men?"
Yes, yeah, that actually happened, and my wife just walked off.
So is it someone that you know, or is it just a genuinely new listener?
It's just generally somebody who...
Talking to the microphone, Dan.
Sorry, right. So obviously I've worked on many, many other radio stations around the country as well. And in the town that I work in, town that I live in, I've worked at the local radio station there as well. So I'm assuming that they know me from said place, and they've gone, oh...
They didn't say that, though, did they? They didn't say... from a said place. They said, aren't you from Three Men and a Microphone?
So she looked over and she went, hello.
So they recognised you from our show?
She recognised me as being a DJ, yeah.
Oh, not from our show, like you said on the message when you said...
But she said, it's Darren, Three Men and a Microphone. I said, hello.
Just going to leave you with this. Until next week, look after yourselves. Bye for now.